Bathfitter High School Hoops presented by Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome inside the Purple Palace. We're at Shamokin Area High School in Northumberland County. Tonight, the opening round of the state PIAA 4A playoff start as District 2 4A runner-up Valley View battles District 4 4A runner-up Shamokin. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob. The road to Hershey starts tonight, as I said, for area teams, and who knows who will be there in about 2 more weeks. Sure to be courtside for tonight's opening round game, former Forest City coach and PIAA referee, Billy Jones. And Billy, it's unusual. These two teams played in the opening round last year. Valley View won that game, so to see them again right here, maybe a little bit different, but we should have a good contest tonight.
Should have a great game. I think these clubs are both evenly matched. If this were an NBA playoff series, I think it'd go 7 games.
Let's talk about the Cougars. They were the top seed in the District 2 4A playoffs, but they ran into Scranton Prep 3 times this year, including in the district final. They lost to the Cavaliers, and that puts them in tonight's game. They have a great inside game from our Bathfitter spotlight player, Kyle Roop.
Kyle Roop is power basketball personified. He loves to play with his back to the basket. He's strong enough to absorb contact and finish. Also, if he catches on the perimeter, he likes to drive it and get to the tin. He's very physical. How physical is he? He's going to go to Lehigh University in the fall to continue his football career.
Shamokin, meantime, they were the top seed in the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference. In fact, they won the Division I title. They were the top seed in the District 4 4A playoffs, but like Valley View, they ran into a team they couldn't beat, and that was Danville. They lost to them twice. But they have a great junior class, including our Bathfitter spotlight player. He's a great guard, Rylan Price.
Rylan Price, one of the top shooters in the Heartland Conference. He can really shoot the basketball. The problem is, though, if you're defending him, if you get up into him, he has a quick first step, and he'll blow by you. So you have to be really careful guarding him. This lefty, like you mentioned, Bob, only a junior.
Well, two of the nicest coaches we've seen all season long. They gave us keys to the game. We're going to start with the visitors from Valley View.
Yeah, we spoke to Mike Kerpus earlier in the week. He's placing a heavy emphasis on rebounding. Naturally, the Cougars want to hold Shamokin to one shot and done defensively. However, Coach Kerpus believes if they're aggressive on the offensive glass, they could probably get some easy baskets. They also want to be able to contain the size of Shamokin underneath. Shamokin's front line, Joe Heil, 6'6", Jensen Shuey, 6'4". As far as the Shamokin Indians go, Coach Chris Zimmerman wants to match Valley View's aggressive play. They want to be just as physical as Valley View. And on the offensive end, they do not want to settle for jump shots. And if they do take jump shots, they want to make sure that they play inside out.
Well, last year in the Cougar Den, Valley View won the game. Can Shamokin match that and win here at home? We'll find out. It's the opening round of the PIAA State Playoffs. It's Valley View and Shamokin next.
You're watching Bathfitter High School Hoops presented by Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships, only on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome back. Here are your starting lineups brought to you by Medicus Urgent Care. Valley View will start Vino, Smola, Koharski at guard, McLean, and Roop in the middle for your Cougars. For the Indians of Shamokin, it'll be Price at Heil, Steiner, Lichty at the guards, and Shuey at the center. Heil jumping against Roop, and we are underway, getting set for this PIAA opening round between the Cougars and the Indians. Nice crowd on hand. And the opening tip controlled by Nick Koharski and the Valley View Cougars, who come in averaging about 56 points per game, Billy.
Shamokin, no shocker here, starting out man-to-man.
They get it right inside to Vino, and he lays it up and in.
Great backdoor cut. Shamokin overplayed, and Valley View took advantage of it.
Now in the district final, Shamokin had a 14-4 lead after one over Danville. They ended up losing that game. So they can come out and start strong, but they have to finish strong as well. Battle inside. And that was Shower, who's getting a start tonight. Little change in their lineup. So Crew Shower, a 6'3" freshman. They're your referees from District 4. Dave Fidel, Terry Conrad, and Ron Marshall.
Winner of this one, Bob, gets Eastern York and South Allegheny in the round of 16.
That game started at 6, hopefully have a final. So man-to-man defense, Shamokin in the white with the purple trim. Valley View in their traditional blue and gold with some white trim. Roop with the spin move on the inside, can't get it to go. Here comes Heil back the other way.
And that's Kyle Roop's style of play. He'll either post or drive it and spin and get to the rim.
Lichty gets it over to Price. He'll run the show, the 5'11 junior, averaging 5.9 points per game.
Valley View, man-to-man, no shocker there. That's a major staple in Mike Kirpus's program.
Cougars giving up 44 total points per game. Inside the Shuey. Mimo on him, but Shuey comes up and under. We're tied.
Shuey, big and physical, but also you'll notice tonight he's very skilled, got a very nice soft touch for a big man.
You'll see Chris Zimmerman on the Shamokin sidelines, very animated. All-time leading scorer here for the Indians, and that is Mike Kirpus from Valley View.
Great job there by Shamokin. They decided to double the ball screen. That pressure, the hard, aggressive hedge and trap caused that turnover.
Two great young coaches, both leading their programs into the state playoffs for 2 years in a row. Nice backdoor cut, and Lichty connects.
Great job by the Indians. Ran a little flex cut along the baseline to get Lichty open.
Very strong junior class. No seniors on this Shamokin team.
Valley View run a little flex offense here themselves.
Valley View not really known as a three-point shooting team, just 84 on the season.
Yeah, their best three-point shooter, JT Homatowski, actually comes off the bench. He's had, I believe, 42 threes on the year. The next Cougar, I believe, has 17.
Yep, Roop's going to be caught for the Euro step.
So going back to Zimmerman, career points, 2,061. And there you see Roop there, taking the extra step. The officials all over it. How do you score over 2,000 points in high school? It's tough enough to score 1,000.
I know. And then he went on, of course, to star at Susquehanna as Price connects from downtown. His 24th three of the season, and Shamokin out 7-2.
As we talked in the open, one of the better shooters in the Heartland Conference.
This is a totally different Valley View team. Just four new starters from last year when these two teams met. Smola in the lane.
And probably their biggest loss was the graduation of Eli U. Savage, who is now playing his college basketball at Drew. Had a solid freshman year, averaging just over 6 a game.
Well, Shamokin is pretty much the same team. Koharski taken away. He'll force it, and he'll go to the line to shoot two for Nick Koharski.
And great job by Koharski to draw the contact, and he'll go to the free throw line, where he is highly effective this year, 78%.
His season high, 19 points against Tunkhannock, 5'11 junior. And he gets the roll here in the Purple Palace, and our first sub of the night will be McLean, who comes off the bench.
And McLean has been playing his best basketball down the stretch for Valley View, has had his share of double-figure games coming off the bench towards the second half of league play in the Lackawanna League.
Next one was off the mark. Shamokin back all the other way. Heil, little post on McLean, can't get the turnaround jumper to go.
Shamokin got a great look there off their sideline break off the Valley View free throw, just couldn't convert. The Indians sticking man-to-man. I'll be shocked if either team shows zone tonight, Bob.
Well, Shamokin had trouble with the zone against Danville, so they'll be happy not to see the zone as McLean, little jumper from the key.
McLean, a pure athlete, and his game has really come along over the season.
So a little 5-0 run to get Valley View back into it to our second tie of the game. Coming up on our first media timeout in the Shuey. They'll double team him quickly. And Price recovers.
Roop guarding Shuey in the post. Roop got in foul trouble in the district final at Mohegan Sun Arena.
Yep. Foul on the play. That should be our first media timeout. Some pushing and shoving. 3:50 left in the first quarter. We're tied at 7 here in the Purple Palace.
Your marquee matchup brought to you by Santarelli Oil. Shamokin's Joe Heil is like a Swiss Army knife. He does many things and does them well. Joe can post up, drive, and knock down the perimeter shot. Plus, he can initiate the Indians' offense. Valley View's Dom Mimo, who is one of the Cougars' bigs, will have to respect Heil's perimeter game and guard him outside of the paint tonight. And that is your marquee matchup brought to you by Santarelli Oil.
Tied at 7. Shamokin had a little 7-2 lead, and then Valley View with 5 more. So far, pretty evenly matched as we expected.
Yes, not a shocker there, and I think probably the difference in this game, Bob, will be which team will be able to impose their will and physicality inside. I think this game's going to be won in the paint, not on the perimeter.
Back to McLean. They cut him off. Nice pass on the inside, knocked away from Heil as Vino tried to put it up and in.
Shamokin showed zone there, giving Valley View a little bit of a different look defensively. We'll see if they stick with it the rest of the quarter.
In the Shuey, they're going to double team him, triple team almost, and he powers his way in.
And for such a big man, he's got a great soft touch.
Averages 13 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, as you said. Big kid in the middle.
Indians sticking to that zone.
And from downtown is Vino. His 17th three of the year, and it's a 1-point lead for the Cougars. Heil on McLean, took him off the dribble but lost the ball. Quick double team down low, and we're going to have a jump ball, and it will stay with the Indians, but good defense. As you see, Chris Zimmerman, his 12th season.
Yes, played his college basketball at nearby Susquehanna University. An excellent player for Coach Frank Marcinek.
So you can see what the defensive strategy is for Valley View. When the ball gets down low, they are quickly double teamed.
Yeah, they're going to look to double, get Shamokin to spit it out, and dare the Indians to beat them over the top.
Smola into the corner. Homentowski into the game. JT is senior. Number 13 for the Cougars, as you said. Their best three-point shooter.
Indians out of the zone. They're now man-to-man.
Valley View working around. There's Homentowski cut off at the 3, but a little jumper inside. He gets the roll.
And if you're going to guard JT Homentowski, that's what you do. You crowd him off the three-point line, force him to beat you off the bounce. Now there, he did knock down the contested 2. But if he's going to beat you, let him beat you that way.
Logan Steele into the game, number 4 for Shamokin. He's a 5'10 freshman. Damimo back into the game, along with Lichty, as Valley View has their largest lead here of the early game. Smola against McLean. McLean gonna go in against Heil, and Heil from behind, hard foul. They're gonna call it, I believe, a 2-pointer.
Yeah, I got the vibe there. Both officials looking at each other. I was thinking they were maybe going to go the intentional foul route, but however, Heil clearly played the ball, got the arm. Hard foul, but not an intentional foul.
Third team foul on the Indians. Remember, we get 5 now in a quarter before shooting. McLean goes to the line. He connects on the first.
I believe he's 41% on the year. It didn't look like a 41% free throw shooter there, Bob.
In the second meeting with the Scranton Knights, in which Valley View won, he had 17 points.
And that was by far, I think, the Cougars' best win of the year, beating the eventual 6A champs in District 2 on their home floor up in Archibald.
So Shamokin had the early 5-point advantage. Now it's a 5-point lead for Valley View.
And here's what makes Heil unique. He's about 6'5", 6'6", and he will initiate the Indians' offense. He's kind of like a point forward.
Price on the bench. Shore into the corner. Lichty gives it up, and it's knocked away. Here comes Vino. And the quick guard, no good. He stepped back in to get it. Homentowski downtown, count it for JT, 43 threes on the year.
And as you mentioned, Bob, Valley View doubling down on the post was a factor in that last Shamokin possession, created the turnover, which eventually led to the Homentowski three-point basket.
Valley View faithful don't like the foul call. on Vino, but here is the shot for Homontoski.
And you just give him a little bit of daylight and he will make you pay.
Kyle using the board. His first 2.
How it reminds you of an old school basketball player. Very crafty, can score in a variety of ways, has a good mid-range game.
Under a minute here in the first quarter of this opening round of the PIAA 4A Boys Playoffs. Both teams have had the lead. McLean, spin. There's time for Shamokin.
See if they play for the final shot of the period here, Bob.
Under 30, Heil. Steinhardt, caught in the corner. Vino again slaps it away. 2-man game, Kaharski. They'll call the block, no foul. Here comes Steele, and Steele lays it up and in for the home team. His first 2. Now a chance for the last shot for Valley View.
Watch for the high ball screen late here in the possession, and here it is by McLean.
Got to get it off. McLean wide open. No time, can't get it to go, and an entertaining first quarter is in the books. The visiting team leads by 4. We'll be back with quarter number 2 right after this.
UNB Bank is proud to be your hometown bank and fully supports high school basketball with locations in Mount Carmel, New Media, and our Shamokin Dam loan office. UNB offers lending that's local, service that's personal, and banking that's true-redded. UNB Bank, supporting our community for over a century.
So a very entertaining first quarter, Billy. Your takeaway from that?
Well, I think you made a great call, Bob. Valley View, how they defended the post, especially Vino doubling down and raking, creating turnovers. That really was the factor in the first period.
Smola going to be fouled. We reset the fouls. So it's the first for Shamokin in this quarter. And it goes against Lichty, his first.
Yeah, Valley View can contain Shuey and Heil inside. I think their chances of getting a road win and moving on tonight are very good.
Smola will set it up. Guarded by the taller Heil. Nemo and Shuey, our marquee matchup.
Indians going back man-to-man. They showed a little zone in the first period.
Roop going to be called for another travel. He's happy feet tonight. This is Kyle Roop, the leading scorer for the Cougars and leading scorer in Division I of the Lackawanna League.
And he's the guy they need to get rolling offensively. If you take a look there, yeah, you can see he shuffled the feet down on the block. Easy travel call for the baseline official.
So Riley Price starts the second quarter, the junior point guard into Shuey. And another travel. Thought maybe Shuey got hooked. He did not. He just kind of.
He ended up dragging the pivot foot. If he kept it planted, they wouldn't have had the travel. But if you look right there, there's the travels. The left foot ended up getting.
I don't think he's going to be doing any ballroom dancing anytime soon. Him or Roop with their feet. But here's Roop cut off. They double team him. Both teams to the floor. Roop gets the feed and blocked from behind. Here come the Indians. Roop now limping coming back. Shuey can hit from out there, and he does.
And don't be fooled by his size. He has a great soft touch and can step out and knock that shot down consistently. As you mentioned, Bob, Roop going to the bench, looks like he tweaked the ankle. Shuey catching it in transition and knocking it down.
That could be a big loss for the Cougars. As we mentioned, the leading scorer for Valley View is now on the training table. We'll check with him and keep an eye on this time.
Both teams really getting after it defensively. Shamokin doubling ball screens, Valley View doubling down on the post, creating offense off their defense, both clubs.
Kaharski trying to take the taller Heil, and he's going to get travel, going to be called for a travel.
Maybe some state playoff first game jitters, a lot of travel calls, more so than you would expect with two high caliber teams. When I think of both of these programs, the first word I think of is consistency. Players graduate, but they remain factors in their leagues and districts.
So an 8-0 run, and Shamokin retakes the lead over Valley View here in the second quarter, as Heil now has 5. He connects from downtown, his 45th 3 on the season.
Heil's such a complete ball player, does everything and does it well.
Mimo going to go to the free throw line. Everyone kind of looked around waiting for the foul. It was called.
Great job. They doubled the ball screen. Great job to get the pass out of the trap to Mimo.
Tyler Skoblik, 6'3" junior, he picks up his second foul. Oh, excuse me, that's the wrong team. Cruz Schroyer, excuse me, number 5 for Shamokin. The 6'3" freshman picks up his second foul, second team foul. Mimo is at the line to shoot 2.
And he's under 50% on the year, I believe 47%.
And he can't connect on those, as the Indians have numbers if they want it. Heil going to force it, and he lays it up and in.
And Shamokin, a great sideline fast break that they've been running consistently off an opponent's free throw. Caught the Cougars there napping.
12-0 run. It was 17-9 at one point in the first quarter. And Valley View has not scored since then. In fact, they've had some turnovers and some travel calls.
And you think if Shamokin scores again, Mike Kerpis might want to think about a timeout, script a good set, stop the bleeding here a little bit.
You mentioned he's a man-to-man team, but Shamokin has had trouble with the zone, especially against Danville. Do you ever foresee that for Mike Kerpis' team? I mean,
that's part of their team identity. That's a big staple of the Valley View program. I think you maybe want to roll the dice a little bit, especially being in the previous game. Shamokin really struggled in that district final against Danville's zone, and that was really the X factor as far as Danville coming back and capturing the District 4 title in 4A.
Homentowski back in. Mimo takes a seat.
Homentowski's on the floor for one reason. He can shoot the basketball.
Heil in the lane, passed up the shot. He gets it over to Schroyer, and Schroyer, the freshman, go to the line. Foul McLean.
Great job by Schroyer to draw the contact. And how about Shamokin? Out of their top 8 players, 3 of them are freshmen, and not a single senior.
So Crew hits the first one, and the drought continues for Valley View. As Shamokin matches their largest lead so far. And Kyle Roop off the training table looks a lot better. See if they get him back in, but he's still gimpy a little bit.
Little token full court pressure here by the Indians. Valley View's got to get Smola to some looks on the perimeter. He can make the three-point shot.
And McLean with the big step gets 2 more.
Nice job by McLean to catch the ball low, feel where the defense was. He didn't panic and made a nice, smooth move.
So almost a 4-minute drought or more for Valley View. Their first field goal since then. Still trail the Indians here in the Purple Palace. And tough defense from Noah Vino, the junior, but he's going to be called for the foul. 3rd team foul for Valley View.
That's the second on Vino, who is the floor general for Valley View. So we'll see if Mike Kerpis sticks with him.
Well, Price tried to force it to Shuey, taken away by Valley View. A chance to get back in this one. Down 4. McLean, nice little jumper from him. He's got 2 in a row for Valley View, and it's a 2-point game.
And he's really come along offensively as the season progressed. Really just a raw athlete when the season began, and his skill has really developed.
Shuey, the leading scorer, has 9 for Shamokin. Under 4, our media timeout coming up on the next whistle. McLean again. He finds Homentowski. And the foul and a jump ball that should take us to the first break. Should be immediate timeout. Let's see if the referees see us. And it is 3:40 left in the half. Indians lead the Cougars by 4. High atop the Purple Palace, our crew did a nice job here tonight. It's Shamokin over Valley View 25-21 in the opening round of the PIAA 4A Playoffs. Bob-eyed Billy Jones. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a feature on one of the longest tenured referees probably in the state and in District 2. You know him, Bruce Weinstock, as well. We'll feature him at halftime.
He's been a staple in the Wyoming Valley Conference, one of the best officials in the state. Refereed a state final, and you'll hear his story. He's 70-plus years old and going strong.
And that'll be in the Wegmans halftime report coming up just about 3 minutes here on the clock. Shamokin out by 4. Valley View sticking around. They couldn't get a basket for over 4 minutes. Finally got a couple, and now they have an opportunity to even cut into this lead a little bit more.
We'll see what Valley View does here offensively. Last trip down for Shamokin, they switched some screens. If there is some switching action going on, look for the Cougars to exploit any type of mismatch.
Kaharski, guarded by Shore. Switch off that. Little step back 3 from Smolin, no good. Andrew Leffler, a sophomore, number 21 in for the Indians for the first time tonight. Shore, freshman. And here come the Cougars back. This is Homentoski. JT is 6-foot senior. So no Kyle Roop yet.
It'll be interesting to see if they come back to him here in the first half. He is on the bench. He did receive treatment from the training staff.
Well, where does Valley View go for their offense? That's the question.
I think they have to rely on the perimeter shot, whether it be Homentoski, who has already knocked down a 3 tonight, and I think they got to get Smola going.
Oh, a foul on the three-pointer. 3 shots for JT Homentoski.
And Leffler committed the cardinal sin of defense, fouling a jump shooter.
So 3 from the line for the 75% shooter. On the Wegmans free throw, he had 15 this year against Wallenpaupack. That's his high, and he gets a friendly roll.
There's the drive, the kick, and you can see Leffler, the shooter by rule, is in the act of shooting until he or she comes back down on the floor. And even though the ball was released, Bob, he was still in the act of shooting when the contact occurred, so that's why JT Homentoski is receiving 3 shots here.
Steele back into the game with Shuey along and Mimo for Valley View.
Valley View cannot get caught napping here on Shamokin's sideline break off the free throw. They've got 2 quality looks off of it.
So a 2-point game for the home team. About 2 minutes now left in this first half. Trying to get it into Shuey. Cross court to Leffler. And we're going to have a foul, a little reach in from Kaharski, I believe.
I believe that was on Homentoski. Easy call for the official. He had 2 hands on Leffler as he was looking to get to the rim.
Lichty. Leffler.
Shamokin will be in the bonus on the next foul by Valley View.
4 fouls for the Cougars. That's 2 shots. Swinging across. And can't get that to go. Is Steele. They fight forward. And it's going to go over to Valley View with a chance to take the lead or tie it up.
This game physical early, Bob. Guys on the floor getting floor burns. This is going to be a slobber knocker as Roop returns. And there you look there. Looked like that possibly went off of Leffler. It'll be Cougars basketball as Roop returns. We'll see if they go to him inside and get him established.
Turn around for Homentoski, from 3. No good. Heil going to push it. Roop chasing. No good. Nice rebound by JT. Both teams getting after it on the offensive, defensive boards as well. Under a minute to play here in the Purple Palace.
And Valley View making sure Vino sits the rest of the half. They don't want him to pick up a third before halftime. So Aiden Smolin now running the point for the Cougars.
Aiden Smolin going right down Main Street and has a block by Joey Heil. Price back into the game.
There's a look at Smola getting to the rim, and great help defense by Heil. Most of your block shots come from help.
Along with freshman Colin Steinhardt, number 11 for the Indians. Homentoski got it, connected. Valley View battles back, and they have a 1-point lead.
Shamokin got caught napping on that one. Homentoski, the best shooter on the floor in blue, and usually the guy that inbounds the ball in an out-of-bounds underplay is usually receiving a screen coming back in, and the Indians got caught with their pants down on that one. Chris Zimmerman cannot be happy.
Yeah, 10 for Homentoski. He leads the Cougars, who trailed in this game at 1 point by 7. Shuey with 7 on the clock, no good. Big rebound from Colin Steinhardt, the freshman, and he'll earn 2 from the Wegmans free throw line.
Got to be frustrating there for Valley View. They contested the shot, got the miss, but a missed block out assignment will send the Indians to the free throw line here to close out the first half.
Can't connect on the first one. He's only just a 42% free throw shooter. Chris Zimmerman going to take Shuey out of the game quick. So a chance to tie it for the freshman. Front-ended it. Price battle. Oh no. Steele banks it in. Stealing points at the end of the half, and Shamokin takes a 1-point lead into the break. Very entertaining first half. Both teams have had nice leads, and it's apropos that the home team leads by 1 as both teams head into the locker room. The Wegmans halftime report is on the other side, then Billy and I will be back to break down the first half play and give you some highlights.
For over 5 decades in the winter, there's one place you know you can find Bruce Weinstock: on the basketball court. The 71-year-old referee grew up playing the game and wanted to give back after college.
I just love giving back to basketball, and I consider myself in good shape. You have to be in good shape to officiate, and at this point, I actually believe I'm simply blessed at 71 to be able to do this and keep up with the kids on the court, because for some reason, they don't get any older. I get older.
Last week for the boys' 6A District 2 final, Weinstock was back on the court doing what he loves. He's been a referee at the college and pro level as well. He says the game has changed through the decades, and he likes it the way it was.
The game is different. The game has been improved to a certain standpoint. Back in the day, there was no three-point line. When I played, there was a jump ball after every possession. There were free throws taken all the time. The kids are bigger, faster, quicker, and I believe better today. However, the game, the basics of the game, have been taken away in this current era. It was just a lot better, in my opinion, years ago.
When a coach needs to talk about a call or he needs to intervene, Weinstock is who you turn to. He has reffed in only 1 PIAA championship game, but he has seen the big stage enough to keep coming back.
Every moment's a big moment. I consider it a privilege to be able to referee, and certainly to be selected to work here at the arena and in many state playoff games. For me, it's just being associated with my colleagues for all the years, and the big moments are the big moments. There are so many of them, we'd be here for another hour or 2 talking about it.
Bruce says he wants to continue refereeing for the time being, with a chance at maybe doing another state title game. In the meantime, though, he'll mentor the younger referees in District 2.
We are enabling younger officials, and we need officials to come into not only basketball refereeing, but the various other sports in PIAA. We simply provide the encouragement. We're always there. I, for one, will go and watch the young men and women referee. They come and watch me, and then we talk about how we can improve. And I can learn from them, and hopefully they can learn from me.
Bob Ide, Fox 56 Sports.
Well, welcome back inside the Purple Palace. We're at Shamokin Area Middle School in Northumberland County. Our first trip here. A beautiful gym, Billy Jones, nice and wide, very comparable to people up in the Lackawanna League, maybe the Carbondale, but a lot of purple going on here. And their home team leads by 27-26. First half, thoughts so far?
Oh, I think this game's going to go down in the end. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game offensively. I think it's going to come down to toughness, grit, and who defends better. I think Valley View struggled offensively. I think Roop rolling the ankle and going out with the injury had something to do with it. But also, Bob, Valley View had like a 13-day layoff in between games between tonight and the district final, where Shamokin was only off for a week. So maybe a little bit of rust there with the Cougars with almost being off for 2 weeks.
Maybe a little rust for both teams, but pretty evenly matched teams. You go by their records. They both have 19 wins. You go by how they lost. They both lost to a team that they couldn't get over the hump over. And you come in here, and like last year, it was a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter before Valley View pulled ahead. You figure maybe the same thing here tonight for their home team because the Indians are here back on their home floor.
Yeah, you would think they would have a slight advantage being home, but this game's up for grabs, one possession game. Both teams are going to want to have quality possessions for the entire second half, and like I said, I think whoever defends the hardest and whoever shows the greatest amount of grit will probably come out of here with a W.
And pretty balanced scoring for both sides. The leading scorer for Shamokin has 9. That's Shuey. The leading scorer for Valley View, Homatoski has 10, but overall, almost everybody scored that's been on the floor.
Yeah, and Shuey got most of his points early. Valley View did a good job of taking him away. I think if Roop's not going to be effective offensively tonight, I really think Homatoski has to continue to shoot the ball well in the second half. I think they probably have to get another scorer going, maybe Aiden Smola on the perimeter, knock down some shots, or maybe even go inside to Beyond McLean, who gave them positive minutes again off the bench tonight.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some first half highlights, and we'll roll those. And
great ball movement there by the Cougars as Homatoski knocks down the 3. That's what he does best. Logan Steele with the finish over McLean in transition. And here's Heil giving it up to Shuey, the big fella, trailing on the break. Nothing but net.
Shuey has 9.
And here's McLean. Nice little post move. Little kiss off the glass. And then the 3 ball from the corner from Vino. Steele finds Shuey. And Shuey 6'4", a wide body, but he is very skilled offensively. He has a nice touch. Homatoski, that's when Shamokin fell asleep on the out-of-bounds underplay, and Homatoski came back in, got the easy 3. And there's Steele beating the buzzer just before the half off the missed free throw to give the Indians the 1-point lead going into halftime. And, of course, we talked in the open, Mike Kerpis very concerned about rebounding, and rebounding hurt the Cougars there at the end of the half with Steele getting that long rebound off the missed free throw.
Okay, we'll take a quick timeout. We come back, third quarter will be underway. We are back, third quarter set to get underway in this PIAA opening round game. The Indians of Shamokin in their white with purple lead the Valley View Cougars in their blue and white and gold trim. It'll be Cougars ball going to our left. Here, courtside in the Purple Palace, Billy Jones, Bob Ide. Let's see what adjustments both teams made at half. We already have a offensive foul.
Yeah, moving screen off the ball.
Looks like Vino.
That'll be his third.
You are correct, Mr. Jones. It is his third.
And you can see Vino, you have to be stationary when setting a screen, and he just stuck his body out and checked Lichty as he was going through defending.
Dave Fidel, Terry Conrad, Ron Marshall are referees from District 4 here tonight. Great defense by Nick Kaharski.
So does Mike Kerpis stick with his point guard and have faith in him that he will not pick up a 4th foul? We'll see.
Smola on the court with Roop. A little ankle sprain in that first. Kaharski right down the lane. Off to Mimo, he's cut off. And it will stay Cougar ball underneath their basket. Thought Kaharski maybe should have shot that one.
Yeah. The opportunity was there. As you see Mimo there trapped along the baseline in no man's land. Valley View there lucky to maintain possession.
Roop looking okay with that ankle. Can't get that one to go. Here come the Indians back the other way, averaging 63 points per game. 153s right on cue. Can it be 154? Well, a little bit more than that for Shuey as he connected a couple times from downtown tonight. He now has 12.
And he is a true perimeter threat. Great job to pitch back to him. He caught it, shot ready, and drained it.
So a 4-point advantage for the home team.
Shamokin showed a little zone, a tiny bit in the first half. They're exclusively man-to-man here to start the second half.
Dom Mimo back to McLean, little jumper. He hits that one. He's got that shot down pretty consistent.
Yeah, skill-wise, he has really developed as the season progressed.
He has 9. Shuey back out again on Roop. Cut off by McLean, excuse me. And Heil will set it back up near half court. Joe Heil, 6'6" senior, 18 points per game, leading scorer for Shamokin.
Chris Zimmerman making sure they get a quality look here. Don't be surprised if the ball goes inside.
Oh, right on the give and go, right on cue. Shuey, he tweaked something. He is limping coming down now.
Great slip to the basket by the big guy, converts, and we'll see if he's all right.
He landed gingerly.
And Vino is on the bench with 3 fouls. Smola now running the point for the Cougars. We'll see if that affects his offense.
Oh, McLean in the double figures now.
And Homentoski, the Cougars' best perimeter threat, is at the scorer's table. He'll check in next dead ball.
Valley View a chance to take the lead or tie it. Roop gonna just roll it down. He'll be fouled. And it'll go Cougar ball underneath. So the foul goes on Shuey. He will take a seat, his second foul. They'll, I'm sure, take a look at his leg. Leading scorer for the Indians now on the bench.
Yeah, it's being attended to by the training staff.
Roop up top looking to pass it off.
They had Koharski inside. They failed to give him the ball underneath.
McLean, little spin. That's a travel.
There's Shuey with the slip to the basket,
oh,
and you can see there he tweaked the left ankle. Still, though, was able to finish.
He'll get that taped back up, kind of what Roop, I'm sure, went through. Oh, great move down the middle for Logan Steele, who had that big jumper right at halftime.
And he's just a freshman. However, when you get this late into the season, when we're into March, you're pretty much no longer a freshman.
Yeah, you're sophomores, yeah.
Shamokin doing a great job trapping ball screens. Valley View lucky to get it out of the trap.
Homentoski gets the feed from Roop.
Great extra pass by Roop.
So Homentoski with 12, their leading scorer. And it goes off. Great defense from the Cougars. And they'll get the ball right back.
So we'll see if Valley View continues to run side ball screens. Shamokin very aggressive trapping them. Of course, if you can get it out of the trap, you'll have numbers on the back end if you're the Cougars.
Valley View, 6 losses this year. They've lost to Prep 3 times. They lost to Abington twice and once to Scranton. All teams in the state playoffs, by the way.
Great job by Kuharski not to quit on the play, sticking with it and tying it up.
We're tied back up. First time we've been tied since 7-7 as Heil finds room inside.
He's so crafty. He can score in a variety of ways. And Shuey back at the scorer's table, and he will check in the next break and play.
Damimo also. Next break will be a media timeout. And we have a foul, 3:26 left. We'll get the foul, and then we'll take our timeout here in the third quarter. 2-point lead for Shamokin. As let's see if they give us the media. We always like to check this before we take a break. Here we go, 36-34 your score. We'll be right back.
UNB Bank is proud to be your hometown bank and fully supports high school basketball. With locations in Mount Carmel, New Media, and our Shamokin Dam loan office, UNB offers lending that's local, service that's personal, and banking that's trusted. UNB Bank, supporting our community for over a century.
3:26 left in the third. Valley View trailed most of that second quarter, has battled back to take a 2-point to get down 2. They tied it up, and now Shamokin's up 2.
Yeah, so we talked in our pregame, Bob. These clubs very evenly matched. I would be shocked if any one of these teams really creates separation. This one has the potential to go down to the wire.
Owentoski off a screen. Taken away. In and fouled is Rylan Price. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That's a scouting report play there. I'm sure that's something that Shamokin saw on film. Price shoots the gap, gets the steal, takes the bump, and he's going to go to the line and try and make this a 4-point lead for the Indians.
Smola picked up the foul, his first. Each team has 2 fouls now in the quarter as he misses the first.
And Mike Kerpis barking at his team to box out. If you recall, the end of the second quarter, they got burned on a missed box out on a free throw. And Steele hit the buzzer beater to end the first half.
So 3-point lead now for the home team.
Shamokin extending its defense, looking to maybe create a turnover here and get another easy scoring opportunity.
Smola on Price now. Cut off. Into McLean. His quickness takes him around, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 from the Wegmans free-throw line. Foul looks like against Heil.
Yeah, that's against Heil. And great job by McLean. Great first step to get to the rim. And he has given the Cougars a nice offensive spark off the bench tonight.
He has 13 now.
Mike Kerpis yelling at his guards to get back on defense. They don't want to get burned on that sideline break off the missed or make free throw.
Little mismatch, sure, but Mimo does a nice job with his body on Shuey. Smola guarded by Price. Here comes McLean, the leading scorer on Heil.
Little flex action here by Valley View.
Koharski in, can't get the roll. Shuey the rebound, right over to Helmetoski. Helmetoski takes it in, and he'll be fouled by Shuey. Great defense for Valley View and great awareness.
Yeah, great job by the Cougars not to quit on the play. It looked like Koharski was more concerned about drawing the contact there than finishing. However, Helmetoski in the right place at the right time. He's going to go to the free throw line and try and tie this thing up.
He has 12 points. Shuey's 3rd foul, 4th on the Indians in this quarter. And he gets the first.
And in the district final loss to Scranton Prep at the arena, Helmetoski went scoreless. So he's really stepping up tonight, making sure Valley View stays in this thing.
.75% on the Wegmans free throw line this year, and he hits both of those. And we are tied at 37 here in the purple pit.
This one has lived up to the hype.
No score on the teams that these the winner will take on, as Heil with a little quick jumper. 30-second timeout called by Chris Zimmerman.
And don't be shocked here if Shamokin shows full court pressure with the timeout called off the made basket by Heil.
Yes, South Allegheny and Eastern York started at 6. We're trying to get a score on that.
And Heil can score in a variety of ways. He can knock down the three, as you see there, as a great mid-range jumper, can post, comfortable handling the ball in the perimeter, just a complete player. So as I mentioned, the Indians here calling the timeout. Don't be shocked maybe if they go back, show a little bit of zone. They showed that a little bit sparingly in the first half. Perhaps they'll extend their defense, maybe a little man-to-man, full court pressure or a little zone look.
The District 4 4A champs, Danville, who beat Shamokin, they lead Akatora 16-12 at the end of one. That game at Danville. The other game preceding that was Hughesville, the Dunmore, the defending AAA girls champs, and Dunmore lost by, what, 1 or 2?
By 1, 39-38.
Hughesville, though, how about them? They pulled the upset in their district final. So congratulations to the Hughesville team moving on in the state playoffs.
And as discussed, Shamokin did call that timeout to set up their full court pressure.
McLean grabbed it, turned around, no one was there, and he just steps it in.
McLean has gone from just an athlete who was playing basketball in the beginning of the year to looking like a very polished high school player here as the season gets into March.
Steele using the backboard tonight pretty effectively. He has 4. And we're going to foul on Shamokin with 1:12 left here in the third quarter.
And great job by Valley View to attack that full court pressure. Here's Roop for a big guy. He handles the ball comfortably, and as you can see, he got fouled. Double whistle by the officials, and both of them had fouls.
So Roop going to go to the line. It's their third foul on Shore, the freshman. So Roop to the line. And Billy, he is scoreless in this game. Hits this first one.
And maybe this made free throw will get him going psychologically, seeing the ball go through the hoop. Maybe he can get his confidence going. He can find his mojo here for the final 9+ minutes of this game.
Yeah, 13.9 points per game coming in, and definitely Chris Zimmerman's team has focused on him as he hits 2 from the free throw line to get him on the board, and once again we're tied. Heil couldn't get the pass, but Lichty was there. And timeout call, 55 seconds by Mike Kerpus and Valley View. 30-second timeout. Tied at 41.
Timeout, Valley View, a 30-second.
Here's what Valley View has done in their last few games, and some nice wins in there. A little run, North Pocono, West Tunkhannock, and Honesdale. But, you know, they led in that game with Scranton Prep at the arena, didn't they?
They were up 11 in the third quarter and struggled to close it out. You know, college basketball time, when it's tournament time and selection shows, they talk about resume wins. Valley View's resume win, you could see there that 5-point win over Scranton, who ended up winning the District 2 6A championship. So that was their best win of the year. But Valley View and Shamokin, as I mentioned earlier, when I think of both of these programs, the first word that comes to mind is consistency. Players graduate, but they're always in the thick of things, whether it's their league or district playoffs.
For the loser, their season ends tonight. For the winner, they go on to the second round. Looks like Valley View might now play for the last shot.
Look for a post touch here, or possibly a Homentoski look for 3.
Or how about 2 free throws? Going to head to the way of Aiden Smola. Foul on Price, but that puts him at the Wegmans free throw line.
And Mike Kerpus will sign up for that, and easy call there. A little bump by Price as Smola looked to turn the corner. And Mike Kerpus going with a defensive lineup here to close out the third period, with Dom Mimo coming in to replace Homentoski.
Scranton Prep leads in their game at home against Fleetwood 54-36. Cougars back out ahead.
And for all the adversity they've faced, their point guard in foul trouble, Roop rolling the ankle, they're up 2 here at the end of the third period.
Back to Heil in the corner. He's cut off by Mimo. Price is a lefty. He's going to go in against the trees and high off the glass. And that will count it. We're tied at 43, headed into quarter number 4 here in the opening round of the state playoffs. Should be a great finish. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
UNB Bank is proud to be your hometown bank and fully supports high school basketball. With locations in Mount Carmel, New Media, and our Shamokin Dam loan office, UNB offers lending that's local, service that's personal, and banking that's trusted. UNB Bank, supporting our community for over a century.
Thank you to our sponsors all year long here in high school hoops here on MyTV WQMY. Tied at 43. Shuey, little step. He'll take a three-pointer, no good.
Great job by Roop to come out and contest that.
Let's see if the Cougars can do what they did last year and pull away. That's a great start from Valley View. Noah Vino, a little up and under, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Great job by Vino. Getting to the rim, finishing on the other side. For a young man that has been in foul trouble, plagued by foul trouble, a good part of the night, comes up with a huge play there to start the fourth period.
Shower, the freshman, has 4 fouls. He'll go to the bench. Both teams going about 8 deep here tonight. That's pretty much what they've done all season long. And he completes the free three-point play, and it's a 3-point lead for Valley View here in the Purple Palace. Knocked out of bounds. That will go to Valley View. Lichty couldn't get a hand on it. We do now know who the winner will play, Billy.
Do you want to break the news?
No, you can. You found it.
Eastern York prevailed in a nail-biter over South Allegheny, 56-55. So they advance to the Sweet 16, as you mentioned. We'll play the winner of this.
At a neutral site, Tuesday.
Eastern York, the higher team up in the bracket, so we'll assume that's going to be probably a little bit closer to York County. Could see Marks Hall a possibility.
Could be, depending on who. McLean forces a way in. No whistle. They lay it up and in. How about him off the bench tonight, giving him quality time?
He's really been the X factor. In a game where Roop really hasn't been 100% and
Shuey with 16 now. McLean has 17 off the bench, leads the way.
Yeah, in a game where Vino's been in foul trouble, Roop's not been 100% with the ankle, McLean has carried this team on his back offensively. And Shuey, just such a nice touch, going to the left shoulder, finishing with the right hand. Great job by McLean. Guard him in the post.
McLean comes out of there with the ball. Taking it the distance. And up and under, lays it up and in, and the Cougar fans are going crazy here.
Looks like we have a delay of game warning. I believe Valley View touched the ball after it went through the net. Of course, you can't do that. You got to allow Shamokin to get the ball out of the net without any interruption and get the ball in play as quickly as possible.
Beyond McLean, 19 points off the bench, leading the Cougars, who are up 5 here in the fourth quarter. Good board by Steele. Back to Heil. Open 3 for the leading scorer. Can't get it to go. Shuey, though. Going to be fouled on the floor, I believe.
You are correct, and it'll be Shamokin ball along the baseline. Going back to that delay of game call, that was just a warning. However, Valley View does commit another delay of game violation that will result in a technical foul.
Timeout on the floor called. Full timeout.
There's a look at McLean. Little scoop shot and the finish. And he really has played his best basketball down the stretch for Valley View.
Shamokin called the full timeout. 5:52 remaining. They're down 5 here. So they've led a bunch in this game. But got to give the Lackawanna League Division I team a lot of credit with their schedule. They're used to these close, tough games.
Yes, I mean, when you play Abington Heights twice, Scranton High School twice, and Scranton Prep twice, that's going to pay dividends in the postseason, whether it be in districts, whether it be in state playoffs. they face their share of adversity throughout the course of the year, and they're facing it tonight. Roop rolling the ankle, having to come out of the game, go to the trainer. Noah Vino's been in foul trouble for a good part of the night, but right now they're in position. They're up 5. The key now, though, is they got to close this game out, because if you remember in the district final, they had an 11-point lead in the third quarter against Scranton Prep and failed to deliver the knockout punch. We'll see if Valley View can exercise the demons here tonight.
Shamokin does not want to let this one slip away here on their home floor. And they try a little alley-oop inside. Shuey battles and can't get it to go.
Yeah, they ran Heil off a little curl looking for the lob. Valley View did a nice job defending it, but Shuey just in the right place at the right time. There was the attempted lob into Heil. Like I said, the Cougars did a great job defending that. But Shuey, with that wide body, carving out space, getting the offensive rebound. Actually, not the rebound, but getting the loose ball and getting fouled and going to the free throw line.
Yes, first time tonight at the Wegmans free throw line, 67% on the year. He connected on the first one, and he connects on the second.
Shamokin going back to that full court pressure.
Valley View still up 3.
If you're Valley View, you got to have an attack mentality. If you can get something easy on the back end, look to score.
Smola cut off. Here comes the double team up top. Smola finds room, and Smola uses the glass.
Late help defense by Shamokin to get over, and Aiden Smola made the Indians pay.
Heil posting up Roop. Locked away, and they're going to get a foul on Roop. That will be the third team foul on Valley View.
And that's just his first. He was in foul trouble in the district final, but him going out with that injury, kind of a little bit of advantage there as far as him not being in foul trouble. It's only his first of the night.
So the freshman Logan Steele tracks the ball down, and they'll set up the offense for the Indians. Lichty inside, will foul on the Cougars.
Looked like they got it on Smola. They'll send Lichty to the free throw line. Valley View contingent not happy with the call. Officials saying Smola used that left forearm to check Lichty in the stomach in the act of shooting. And we'll see if Shamokin goes back to that full court pressure if Lichty can convert the second free throw. And they're back in it. Picking up full court man.
5 minutes of play here in the opening game of the state playoffs 4A for these teams. McLean. Good defense from Heil to give it back to Kaharski. Valley View gonna run some clock off. Back out to McLean.
Mike Kerpis gonna make sure here the Cougars get a quality look.
Roop on Shuey. Takes him off the left hand. Nice move by Kyle Roop.
And for a big guy, he has a great first step.
Inside the Shuey, knocked away. Here comes that double team down low, and they're going to get a foul on Valley View again, and that'll be the 15th foul on Valley View, so it stops the clock, and it sends the Indians to the line.
And that'll be 2 shots for Shamokin the rest of the night. As Roop attacking the bigger Shuey. And Kyle with that great first step. He's tough to guard on the perimeter if you're a big that goes out on him. If you're Shuey and you have to guard him on the perimeter, maybe next time you maybe want to sag a little bit, dare him to shoot the ball.
17 for Shuey as he misses the first. And connects on the second.
Shamokin calling off the press. They're going to stick with their half-court man. I'm sure that if they have an opportunity to trap ball screens and sidelines, they will do it and try and create a turnover, which will lead to an easy basket.
Possession arrow goes to the Cougars. 5 team fouls on Valley View, just 1 on Shamokin. And you would think Shamokin down has to start committing some fouls.
You would have to think that probably at about the 3-minute mark or less.
Still immediate time out on the way on their next whistle.
Homentoski nearly stepped on the sideline there. Great court awareness by him not to turn it over. Valley View very methodical, going to run some clock here, 4-point lead. This is stuff teams work on regularly in practice, playing with the lead late, being down late.
So timeout called by Valley View. So we'll stay. It'll be the next whistle. So timeout called by Valley View. It's a full timeout.
We'll see what Shamokin shows defensively. They've showed a little bit of zone. That was in the first half. We'll see maybe if they show a zone look here. I'm sure Mike Kerpus is drawing something up against man-to-man. We'll see if Shamokin maybe tweaks something defensively here. I think defensively, though, you want to trap, maybe speed Valley View up, try and create a turnover, which will lead to an easy basket.
So here's what Shamokin has had the last few games. Some nice wins in there. Again, Danville a couple losses, but overall a nice season for Shamokin, 19-7. Overall 9-1 in the PIAA Division 1. And they've been the runner-up in District 4 the last 2 seasons under Chris Zimmerman, the all-time leading scorer here with the Indians.
And he's played a tough non-league schedule as well. Traveled to Abington Heights before Christmas, played the Comets on the road. He'll play anyone, anywhere, at any time. He won't duck anybody. Shamokin takes pride in playing a tough schedule, as does Valley View.
Well, as you bring that up, Shamokin has lost to Abington in the playoffs, Trinity in the playoffs, Mahanoy area still undefeated, Loyalsock in the playoffs. Some of the losses for Shamokin, of course, Danville twice. Now, they have not had back-to-back losses at all this season, has Shamokin. If they lose tonight, it will be back-to-back losses. So keep that in mind as they trail by 4. And this one will go out of bounds. This will be our media timeout. That's our timeout. 3:31 left in the game. We'll take a break. Bye-bye. Billy Jones back court side here. High School Hoops brought to you by Bat Fitter and Blaze Alexander. Valley View, the visiting team in the blue. They lead the Indians of Shamokin in white 54-50, Billy. After this timeout, let's see what Shamokin does. They need 4 fouls to get them into the bonus for Valley View and stop the clock. So what is your strategy here?
If you're Shamokin, take advantage of that and aggressively play defense. And if you commit a foul, there's nothing wrong with that because that's what you want to do. And that's what Logan Steele just did. However, sometimes the refs swallow the whistle late. You may get a turnover without committing a foul.
So Steele, his second team foul on Shamokin. Remember, you have to get to 5. And then it's 2 shots for the shooting team. Back into Roop. And almost a turnover.
Roop saved the day.
Oh, it is a turnover. Steele comes in. The lefty lays it up and in, and we have a 2-point game.
Shamokin going back to that full court pressure.
Steele going to be aggressive. Up to Roop. Almost walked and got it back out to Smola.
He thought about shooting the 3, but realizes they probably want to burn a little bit of clock here.
McLean loses it out of bounds. Not the guy you want to handling the ball late in the game, Billy.
No, you want to play through Vino and Smola, and especially Vino. He's their best free throw shooter at 87% once they get in the bonus. McLean trying to do a little bit too much.
He didn't. I mean, he scored 19 points, so he is definitely giving it his all. But he lost the ball out of bounds. Shamokin with a chance to take the lead or tie it up. 2:30 left on the clock. What's the shot they're looking for?
Best shot possible.
Steele trying to use the bank. Oh, great rebound by Vino.
If you're Shamokin, you maybe want to give a foul or 2 here to get Valley View closer in the bonus as we approach the 2-minute mark. They still have 2 fouls to give.
They're in the lane. What are they going to call? Timeout, Valley View. That's the call from the referees. 2 minutes exactly left on the clock here.
Looked like a potential travel, but the officials determined that Mike Kerpis requested the timeout before the travel. Because I believe it was Smola just fell to the floor with the ball, and by rule, that is a travel. Take a look at it there.
That could have been a possession right there.
Yeah, he had possession of the ball and hit the deck, yeah. So heady coaching move by Mike Kerpis. That might be one of the best timeouts he's called in a long time, preventing the turnover. But the officials did a great job. They determined that the timeout was requested before Aiden Smola hit the floor.
So a UNB Bank timeout for the Cougars.
Now, Bob, as you mentioned, the winner of this one gets Eastern York, who were the District 3 champs in 4A. They were the 5 seed in the District 3 tournament and ended up winning it.
Danville, the District 4 top seed of 4A, is leading Alcantara at the half. Trying to get a Pottsville score also in 4A. Hazleton has a win over Pennsbury. Abington had a huge lead in their 5A game. So after the timeout, Dallas has beaten West Philadelphia. They came back. They were actually losing in that game. That's a 5A game as well.
So congratulations to Mark Belinsky and his staff and players.
So Friday night games will be played Tuesday. Tomorrow's games will be Wednesday, and a foul on the floor by Price.
And the Indians still have one more to give to get the Cougars into the 2-shot bonus.
So Lichty actually committed the foul, his second, so they have 3, as you said. So the Shamokin fans get a little worried.
Still tons of time. Over 90 seconds left in this one possession game.
As advertised and as Billy says, has lived up to the hype. Both teams have had 6 or 7 point leads, and that's it. And a foul on Shamokin. That's 4 now.
And if you're Chris Zimmerman right now, you're probably saying to yourself, why does Pennsylvania not have a shot clock?
Well, why don't they have the one-on-one? That's more, I think, right now we're talking about.
Yeah, excellent point there.
Where's the rule from, last year, right?
Yeah, that was the big rule change going into the 2023-2024 season, as Valley View now will finally go to the free throw line.
Steals 4th foul. So at the line, it looks like Aiden Smola, 67% on the year. His season high was 13 against Dunmore, and pressure now on him to convert at least 1 of 2. You get 2, that's 2 possessions. And he misses the first.
The guy Shamokin does not want to foul is Noah Vino, who's an 87% free throw shooter on the year.
So Kaharski back into the game. Timeout for Shamokin area. Full timeout. We'll stay right here with 1:24 left in this game. So I guess a lot of people ask you and me, like, who do you think is going to get to the state finals in Hershey? I mean, you're looking at a lot from the boys' side, of course, and I guess you have to look at Mahanoy area, still undefeated. One of them maybe Abington Heights, but you didn't like their draw, right?
Apparently, though, Abington Heights, they were leading comfortably last time we checked. So I think a lot of people are expecting them to match up with Imhotep Charter out of District 12, I believe, in the quarterfinals. However, 5A is tough. Like, you can't take anybody lightly. Every team is a high-quality team when you get to this point in the season.
Selinsgrove has beaten Muhlenberg. That's a 5A game, District 4 team. Abington Heights wins 91-64 over Bonner Brendy. And they advance into the state playoffs. So boys' side, I'm not quite sure after that.
I think Holy Cross and 2A boys might have a chance.
Constitution, right? Or Mahanoy.
Yeah, but I like Holy Cross. They have a quality guard in Michael Hughes. They have a big guy in Matt Lyons. They have a nice balance.
So Smola hits 1 of 2, but it's a 1-possession lead.
And you don't necessarily need a 3 here if you're Shamokin. Plenty of time if you can get to the rim, get the 2, and then set up your full court press. If you don't get,
Steele trying to get the ball over to Shuey, and Shuey didn't really see it coming, but he was open for an easy layup with Shuey.
so now if you're Shamokin, you want to aggressively trap here the first pass. As you take a look there, Steele trying to find Shuey, and that ball is not deflected. So that's going over to Valley View. If you don't get something here on a quick trap, you're going to want to foul.
Remember, Shamokin, a very young team, a lot of juniors, a bunch of freshmen, and a foul. They're going to hoop in the harm. As Heil goes up high, they're going to say McLean's shot counts. And he'll go to the line.
The officials believe he gathered and began the act of shooting. So the field goal's good, and McLean will go to the line and look to convert the conventional three-point play, as now it's a two-possession game for the Indians. Whether McLean makes or misses the free throw, 57-52.
So he has 21 points off the bench. Homentoski has 13, and he misses the front end. Under a minute to play. 5-point lead for the Cougars.
Shamokin's got to get downhill here, get to the rim, get a quick score.
Heil up and under. Roop with the block, but they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Roop.
And great job by Chris Zimmerman getting a quality shot early. And that'll send Heil to the free throw line, where Shamokin has an opportunity to add points to the scoreboard with the clock stopped, which is the last thing you want to have if you're Valley View.
Heil connects on that. Shuey will take a seat. Probably is because of foul trouble for Shuey. They're going to have to foul on the other end. 46 ticks left in this ball game. Heil can't hit the second one, so it's a 4-point game. And they foul Vino, and you mentioned the guy that Valley View wants on the line.
Yeah, if you're drawing it up and you want one guy on the free throw line late, it's this guy with an 87% free throw percentage. This game far from over, though. Shamokin's going to come back down, probably get a quality look early, get something going to the rim, and then look to set up their press. If they don't get a turnover, get a quick foul.
Well, he made it look good. 2-possession lead for Shamokin. They're still being aggressive as Valley View. Heil downtown, banks it in. 3-point game, timeout Shamokin.
Mike Kerpis wanted to travel there on Shuey in the post. Officials didn't see it. Ball gets kicked out, and Heil knocks down the three. And it's a one-possession game. 25 seconds and change left. Shamokin, they have time to set up full court pressure, get a quick trap. If they don't get anything quick, foul. If you're Valley View right now, when you run your press breaker, you want to make sure Noah Vino is the guy that gets the ball on the inbounds. As we mentioned time and time again in the final minute plus here, 87% free throw shooter.
Oh, big three from Luepte's hand, maybe a little bit too hard, but I don't know if he called the bank. Maybe he did.
Still counts.
It doesn't matter. Three up on the board, 3-point game, 25 seconds left in this 4A opening round game in the state playoffs.
A great job by Jensen Shuey to find the big fella who was out on the perimeter.
Both fans into this one. Nice crowd on hand here in Northumberland County.
Shamokin does not need to foul right away. Get a good trap. If you're Valley View, you want to avoid having the ball along the sideline. And it goes into Vino, who is their best free throw shooter.
So Vino to the line to shoot two. By the way, Pottsville did lose their game opening round. So Vino goes to the line to shoot 2. 21 seconds left in this one. All you need is 1. And he hits the first. So Vino hitting the shots down the line. He's now in double figures.
So if Vito makes this and it's a 5-point game, if you're Shamokin, I would take the 2 and get to the rim as quickly as possible. Valley View does not want to foul, so they'll probably give up the layup. We'll see what they do here, the Indians.
So Vino with 12. Foul on Valley View. Smola. So Price will go to the line. 16 ticks left in this one.
And again, he converts both of these. 1 possession game. 16 seconds, still time to work with if you're the Indians.
And he can't get the free throw here on this home floor.
Yeah, that miss was big because even if he makes this one, it's still a 2-possession game.
Well, you have to foul now just to have a chance.
Exactly.
Vino
Time
cut
is
off.
precious.
Oh, tipped. Over to Heil. 13 ticks left. Long range shot, no good. As Steinhardt, the freshman, took a long shot. And 7 seconds left. Valley View could go to the line to clinch this one. Shamokin had a chance.
They did have a chance. They got the steal. There it is right there. Smola a little careless with the inbound pass. Looked like it was deflected. Ends up in the hands of Heil. Not the worst look in the world by Lichty. And Homentoski ends up with a basketball. And it looks like Valley View will get out of here with their 20th win of the year. And advance to the Sweet 16 of the 4A Boys Tournament.
And he hits the second. So subs in now, 5-point game. 7 seconds left.
McLean coming in for defense.
Eastern New York awaiting the winner. Heil, way too much time, can't hit it. And the Cougars coming to the purple pit. They trailed in the first half, and they win this one by 5. The Cougars are moving on in the state playoffs. Coming up, we'll have our players of the game. Valley View 62, Shamokin 57. So a big win for Valley View. They advance into the state playoffs. They will meet Eastern York on Tuesday in the second round of the 4A state playoffs. Beyond McLean off the bench tonight, big in numbers, 19 points. Kyle didn't have his best game, but what were you seeing that got you those points tonight?
Well, I just say, like, it's a team effort. We all put our hard work into it. I love my teammates. It's just a great experience overall.
You trailed a little bit in the first half. What was the difference in the game that kept you pushing you guys forward?
Well, it was just my teammates on the bench. They were just getting me so hyped. Just the environment as well. It just all went together.
To come on the road and win, what does it mean to this team?
It means a lot. We fight every day, and we're in the court, just everything.
Okay, let's bring Noah in. Noah, some big free throws. The big free throws down the line. But what was the difference? What got you back in this one?
Yeah, I was in foul trouble, but I know I had to step up. So when Coach put me back in, I knew I had to make something happen.
What does this mean to you guys to win this and advance now to play Eastern York?
This is huge. Last year we made to round 2 and lost, but we're trying to make bigger things happen. So we're trying to get this round 2 win and move on to round 3.
How big a win is it? Like a big win, but to come back and the way you guys fought hard tonight, what to say about this team?
The dedication. I mean, we don't give up. We just fight until the end.
How about the way you guys play in Division I of the Lackawanna League? How does it prepare you for a game like tonight?
It prepares us good. Like teams like Scranton Prep, Scranton, Abington, they really push us to type of experiment. So we just came out ready to play.
Congratulations, great win. The say they're excited, Billy Jones, will be an understatement. But you know, they trailed. They even had in the between the first and second quarter, they were scoreless for like 5 or 6 minutes. So they kept battling and battling throughout.
Yeah, Valley View dealt with its share of adversity all night. Kyle Roop, their best player, leading scorer coming in this one, rolled the ankle in the first half. Their point guard, Noah Vino, in foul trouble most of the night, but they found a way. They scrapped. They found a way. That's a sign of a very good basketball team, resilience.
It also says a lot about the Lackawanna League Division I. Abington won tonight, Prep won tonight, and now Valley View. We talk about all the time. That division is one of the best in the state.
Absolutely. Valley View playing Scranton, Scranton Prep, and Abington Heights twice each in the league. I'm sure paid dividends tonight. You know, you play a tough schedule, you're going to reap the benefits towards the end of the season in March.
Well, Shamokin is hoping to reap the benefits of a young team. A lot of freshmen, bunch of juniors, no seniors. We expect them to be back in this position next year, maybe even as district champs.
Oh, absolutely. They'll be a major factor in their conference, the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference, and in District 4.
Well, that will wrap it up, Billy. Great game, as we expected, right?
Yeah, tremendous. Went down to the wire as predicted.
As predicted, and that's the way we like to end our high school hoop season here on MyTV WQMY. For Tara Melody, for Doug Walsh, and for Billy Jones helping me out this year, and also to our entire Fox 56 sports crew, nice season of high school hoops here on MyTV. Good luck to all of our area teams as the road to Hershey begins tonight. This is Bob Hyde saying so long from Northumberland County. The Cougars take it over the Indians.
You're watching Bathfitter High School Hoops, presented by Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships, only on MyTV WQMY.